Welcome to kcheebplays, Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. Let's get started. With the new CO area all planned out, the trio's attention turned to aluminum and the new city. This would be by far the largest single planning effort they'd made. Tension was in the air. Ulyov, still buoyed by the success of planning the CO area, confidently said, "Just give your ideas to Clarence and I. We'll get it knocked out in no time." Christoph replied, "Now, Ulyov, you know that's not going to happen. We all need to be involved. Our investment on this project is just too big for one of us to have complete control. We're going to need budgets, timelines, and fallback positions in place before we get too carried away." Kalinka nodded. "Yes," she said. "Far too risky to just go in swinging. We need to make sure we use everything we've learned to make this project a success. Separation of the rail and material lines, proper sizing of the storages, and don't forget, we also need coal and chemicals supplied on a regular basis. I've done some preliminary investigation, but I don't know exactly what we need to set up an effective supply chain. I'm thinking we build one aluminum plant. If we can staff it near capacity, that will be more aluminum than we really need. For it to have a steady supply of alumina, 2 plants will be necessary. We can export the excess. I'd suggest building one, plan a second, and build it if and when it's needed. Here's a bit of a rub though. One bauxite processing plant is just shy of being able to produce enough bauxite for one alumina plant. Can we live with an underperforming plant? I'd suggest we plan for 3 and build the first. See where that gets us. Any excess can be exported. Now this is where it gets a little unclear for me. How many bauxite mines to supply up to 3 processing plants? My research indicates one mine fully staffed can supply 22.5 tons of raw bauxite per day, and one bauxite processing plant can consume 125 tons of raw bauxite. Is that per day, week, or month? I don't know. Christoph and Ulyov looked at each other and shook their heads. Ulyov gulped and said, "I had no idea it was that involved. We have a lot of research ahead of us." Christoph chuckled and said, "Kalinka, I'm shocked you were able to leave that last stone unturned, but I admit, I have no idea either. Well, this is a good start, but we have a way to go before we can fully commit to this plan. Let's get those answers and then continue. Sound good?" "Christoph," Kalinka said, "we haven't even talked about the new city. I think it best we go through those numbers now so we get a real sense of the scale." Christoph sheepishly admitted, "I'm already nervous of the scale of this project, but you're right. Please carry on." "All right, if we assume 3 bauxite mines, 3 bauxite processing plants, 2 alumina plants, and 1 aluminum plant, that's 1,300 workers per shift right there. But if we build one of each of the nuclear facilities, that's another 350 workers per shift. If we add the number of people needed just to run the city, say 1,500, added to the 5,950 for the plants, that's a total of 7,450 workers. However, I think it best we plan for 9,000 to be on the safe side." Ulyov remarked, "That's just over half the size of Miadzol. Should be no problem, as long as we're sure of the numbers." Kalinka matter-of-factly stated, "Therein lies the problem. Let's get this figured out, gentlemen." Hi, Cheap here. So, here we are at the CO area, the new planned out CO area. Haven't started construction on it yet. We're going on the 2 bridges over here. And as the trio suggested, I don't know exactly how to set up a, reasonably functioning aluminum supply chain, if you will. I've done it before. Just a very simple, straightforward, let's make some aluminum. And I made aluminum, but it wasn't particularly effective. It made aluminum, and all that stuff kind of worked out. But I'd like to get something that's a little bit more, for lack of a better word, effective. Something that, we can run near max capacity as long as we have enough workers in the plant. So I've tried to run the numbers, and the one, and I think I kind of mentioned it a little bit, that I keep stumbling on is the mine. For some reason, I can't get my head around. Oops. Sorry, I'll have to leave it up there. The maximum daily production per worker. So 0.5, 45, that's 22 and a half. tons of raw bauxite per day. All well and good, except in the processing, it just says consumption at max production. Now that 125 tons, that can't be per day. There's no way. And I really haven't done a whole bunch of research into that. I mean, I suppose I could set up a little map with a little test, but I know that there's somebody out there that knows, assuming full production, what the ratios of these things should be, and can maybe help me get my head around what exactly those numbers mean. So if you know, feel free to comment, hop on the Leaky's Discord, let us know, say, Cheeb, here's the numbers. Anyways, that's enough of me kind of going on about that. Not really planning on putting that stuff all together this episode. There's a ton of other work that needs to happen. I'd like to get the bridge finished so we can get the road guys building all the rest of that. CO area, there's the tourist area. Helicopters are making quick work of all this down here. And the ongoing rail setup, reset up that has to happen. Got to get some work done in here. And I got to get the bus line sorted out. So I'm going to transfer workers from here, some of the workers from here to the new bus stop. They're going to be, scattered around. Maybe, I'm not sure what the right number of people is. We'll have to kind of adjust that as we go, and then run a bus from here to here with a straight transfer. And then we'll have a line that just goes back and forth between these two to supply all the workers. Now I better check to make sure that I've got, everyone can get to everywhere they need to get to here. Otherwise, I'm going to have other problems. Yeah, so it looks like everything's in range. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I don't think everything is in range from there. I don't think they can get to this this farm. That's a problem. Are we gonna have to go underground now? Fun and games. Could pull that other trick too, where I just send them from here to here, and then because from here, I believe they can get everywhere from there. So, oh boy, got to think about that one for a second before I fully commit to that whole situation. One other thing that I wanted to get dealt with as well was, this ugly mess of a connection. So I've gotten rid of the train that comes in here. There's nothing else. No trains coming here. There's no reason for it to exist anymore. So we're going to get rid of it. The 3 trains that are bringing iron ore in, more than enough to keep this place running. So that's it. That's all. Thank you for your service. And we can also get rid of I guess I can't click on that, can I? I'm gonna have to use this delete. Oh, took care of the whole thing for me. Thank you. And I'm gonna want a road connection through here because that other one doesn't make any sense anymore. We'll get boys working, the gang working on that one. And I can get rid of this little mess here that kind of makes this whole thing a little hard to understand and to figure out. So won't need that anymore. And now basically what I want to do is go from here straight across. But I know that my last straight point is right here. And if I try to pull from my first available point, which is where this is. I mean, first of all, it's not going to let me because of the semaphore, but I know it won't connect straight across, and it's not going to look very good. So basically what I have to do is get rid of this crossover here, put a temporary one in up here, and then I'll be able to run straight across, and then ultimately get rid of all of this loopy-loop stuff down here. It served a purpose at the time, and now we've got some decent rail setup going here that we can just make that. Oh, can't get back. Why can't you get back? Sorry, I'm just going to pause this for a second. Oh, because that's not a two-way. Signals. Signals. This is going to need to be a two-way as well. I think I got to do the same thing on this one. Okay, that should work. Make sure his question mark goes away. I know you can do it. I've seen you do it before. You turn around. There we go. Okay, good to go. Yeah. Okay, so my first thing that I'm going to need to do is build my crossover here. This is, like I said, going to be a temporary one while they construct. Yikes. While they construct that other piece, so it'll allow the track builders to get where they need to go. Oops, I need to build both. And allow the trains in at the same time. So, checking signals. Yeah, that's all fine. It's good. This is going to make that. Should work out okay, I think. I think I can move these down a little bit further if I make these two-directional, because we got to get the cross there. And I can go from, I have to remove the diamond first. You can get out. I go from here. Oh, jeez. That'll work pretty well. What have I done? Yeah, you can get out. Oh, they're not electric. Every time, eh? Yeah. Okay. Now he should be able to get out. Boy. The things. Okay, that works. And his question mark's gone. Good thing. Can get that laid in, and I think now I should be able to so that needs to be two directions. as well as this, so that they can work and be in the... It'll be fine. They can work and be in dropping off iron. Okay. So I think I've got 2 available. Track builders in here. Yeah, they're only building 1 right now. 1 piece of track right now. So we can get these guys going on this. Funny that he didn't assign both of those. Could have 4 going. Okay, good. Just some of the last little details, like I said, of clean up here to get the the rail a little bit more reasonably laid out. Now, my next fun and games issue is trying to figure out how I get rail into here from Kiamno. I was initially thinking, because there was a lot of unemployed people on this side, you can kind of see from I think this, that we should be able to draw quite a number of people from here. If I put, and this is going to be a bit of an experiment because I'm not 100% sure how this is going to work out. But if I put a train platform in here, that's going to make reasonably easy access to sneak through. And then we've got a little bit of an altitude thing that I could possibly manage. I don't know if I can get rail lines through there if I move this office. That's a possibility. That would be kind of cool if that could happen. But we'll see if it will go through there. Because the next question is going to be, can I get 2 of them through? Yeah, and there's no way that's happening, is it? Yeah, just a little tight, so I don't know what other options there are. I mean, I could bring that road up and over and then use this as the rail line. I don't like having this here like that, and I really don't want to have any kind of that should be fine. Any kind of level crossing there. Just not in the cards as far as I'm concerned, anyways. I mean, if I took that road out, I don't know where else I could run. Just not sure. This road really doesn't serve a huge purpose, honestly. I mean, there's access down here. At the time, it was used for, obviously, construction, so faster driving on pavement than gravel. But we've got, we don't have a real big need for it. You never see any vehicles on there. If I replace this and then just clear that out, then there's not even any reason necessarily for, I mean, I could run it straight off of there. What's my I could build another technical services. That's going to fix a lot of I don't know if fix is the right word or not. It's going to definitely change the way I look at this, because I can reconfigure this landscaping wise and get it to a point where I can make a reasonable run up here to a station here, and then to get trains on and off that track. That'll be the next question. How do I go about doing that? Interesting. I mean, in, out. Only need to come from one direction. One down the hill. It's a two-directional with a little cross there. It's an option. I think I'm going to do that. I think I can get rid of this piece of road. Build my technical services right here, connect it in. They can get and cover this whole area. That piece there can go away because they can just get in and out. They can get both directions. Yeah, I think that'll work. So what have I got here? It's an 8 vehicle. Technical services. I think it was the vanilla one. It looks that way, doesn't it? Okay. And it definitely will fit there, so that's good. Okay. How about that for a plan on the spot? Throw the the technical services in here. Still got power, so we can get fuel to it. Sometimes it just takes a while for ideas to come to you, right? We'll get that built, and when it's done, we'll transfer them over and make it happen. I should check what time I started this whole thing, because I'm really doing my best to try to keep this to an hour. Train is waiting too long. Don't like that. No, just busy, and this is a reminder. You need to manage this whole crossover scenario better. I mean, we've got waiting areas till the cows come home, but not having them up here be able to get down to this one really causes a bit of a backup. Basically cut yourself off by a third of your potential throughput. So not this episode. Will be dealt with. It functions most of the time, so more than happy with that. And we got construction started there. And basically set up here to get everything going. And I just noticed this is not going to make me very happy. Not square. And I think all of this stuff here, I want to get rid of that and rebuild it as well, because it's going to make me crazy. Okay, let's see if we can get this in a little better. Square to the road. There we go. Okay. There we go. And then use as speed trick, which is awesome. Get all this stuff built. And then we can move everyone. Okay. So how are we doing for... Yeah, everybody's there and ready to... gearing up to go. That one built. And we can almost have this looking like a pretty normal rail yard. It would be kind of a pain to, no, really not a pain, but to build the crossover, because it's going to block these guys up. They'd usually sit in there for a fair amount of time, so well, that's the end of the world there. And this, yeah, taking that direction out of this for the rail was very much an oversight on my part, because the rail construction needs access. So now for them to get out there, they have to go out and, find a place to turn around and come back. I think probably, fortunately, I've left this. Oh no, that's not where they're turning around. I'm gonna have to watch this guy to see where he has to go to turn around. Because I'm curious now. Because I did it to myself. No doubt. Actually, I think this guy's coming to... No, that one's finished. Not sure where he's headed, actually. 1362. Which one is that? Here, yeah. So yeah, that's the direction situation that I have with the construction. Oh, how far back does he have to go to get out? Oh, he's gonna go use this whole turnaround. Oh my. Oh well. Again, something that I did to myself, so I live with that, I suppose. May not really want to do that, but it is what it is. Oh, and something else I was thinking about as well. So, last episode I changed the. Oops. Why do I always think that's the shopping center? I changed the ratios in here, and what a great tip. Just thanks to both of you for reminding me that that's something that needs to happen, because obviously the food is the big deal, and it just makes a huge difference. So I started thinking about all these small trains that were running around, mostly for our exports and possibly for the city supply stuff as well. We can probably minimize a little bit if I knock these down to 80%, just to make sure. I mean, not necessarily make sure, but they're going to bring larger loads with them, which means they're going to have to travel less often. So I think that's a good thing for that. And let me check to see what's happening here. I think we can accomplish a similar thing with this stuff. They'll just bring larger loads with them as they go, and cut back on how many trips they have to make. How much trips, yeah. Great. Oh, and another thing that I was checking for issues is this is full, which means we're not producing any bitumen, which means he's not going to be filling up. He's, just over 200 tons away, and I don't like throwing stuff away. And if we're producing that much fuel at this point in time, I don't know why I wouldn't be exporting it. So the question is, where do I want to export it? Do I want to run a line down here and have a second ship that does exporting the fuel? I think that's a little bit risky. Fuel is a valuable and expensive commodity. So I'm thinking I set up a 4-wagon train to do my export that I can repurpose if I get to a point where I've got too much fuel being exported and not enough for use. So I'm going to set that up. Locomotive speed. I like this one. I don't know if it's appropriate or not for this particular function, but in this game it works. So I'm going to use it. And I don't know that I've used these. They've got a bunch of different skins too. So there we go. Pretty sure that's not on there. So 65, 260 a trip. It's going to be a fair trip. let's make it happen. So we're going from here to load fuel. And let's just get this order even busier. Than it is. Okay. There he goes. Beautiful. That should get our our bitumen back in production. Wow, you start doing construction. I mean, this was busy anyways, but you start doing construction and everything kind of backs up. And be sure I can electrify this now. Oh no. What's going on here? Another one of those. Oh, that rest of that isn't built yet. That's fine. Okay. Patience. Think that. Oh. Not assigned on that anymore. That's interesting. Oh, don't give me this. Oh. Oh, he hasn't finished that one yet? Interesting. Okay. Weird. Those guys can usually do a short stretch like that in basically one pass without issue, quite honestly, but interesting. Okay. Let me just quickly check, because while I'm thinking about these ratios that I'm using to do the drop-offs. Yeah, let's see what that does for how many trips we have to make. Yeah, boards. Travel. See if that gives us any larger trains out on the tracks. Cool. Wait till they're there. Electronics. Same scenario. Hopefully we can get fewer of those single car trains running around. Because while they do the job, they certainly look silly, to be perfectly frank. Do the same here. That's for Kalinka's construction office. Okay. Time to go check on the other constructions. I don't really like leaving this when they're this busy and somewhat in a I guess I'm worried about prone to getting one of those messages where we've got trains that are waiting too long. So anyways, I can quickly check on all of the work that's happening here. Getting footpaths dealt with. Go underground. We're getting our electrical dealt with. Probably get our train station going. Get this stuff all built up. And We can start on buildings. Well, we've got a few buildings on the go right now, but the rest of the buildings that we need for getting the city dealt with, or the tourist area dealt with. And lots of vehicles on the way. Good. Not sure if I've done this backwards or not, but I mean, look at that number of concrete that we have to get across there. It's a, for lack of a better phrase, shit ton. So yeah, we're pretty busy over there. Something else that I was also thinking about in here was having a better supply of, a more consistent supply of oil here. I mean, it gets partially filled, but when the ship is back before it has enough to actually fully load. Not to mention the fact that I think there's 2 of them running here now. No, there's just the one. That's right, because I said we're going to be doing the bitumen with this one. And I was checking into some of the things that I can do to make this happen. And to get more oil flowing into here, I mean, short of making another pumping station and breaking a line and feeding 2 from here down and all that kind of thing, which has got to happen. I got to run two more lines from here down, but trying to hook it in. So I was thinking that pumping it into this, tying it into this would be a reasonable solution. I don't think these are anywhere near being maxed in terms of how much flow they can do, but it would certainly keep this full for the ships to come in, load, and go, and would also make these pump jacks work a little bit more often because these will be less full. So probably might be worth the experiment. I'm not 100% sure. We'll definitely give that a try, I suppose. Now I got to try to think about what I can do here. And the other option is to go underground right away and then pop it up over here. I think I could fit one right there. That would definitely cut down on the how far people have to walk, which means they'd be able to get down here, even though there's only 2 workers working here right now. I think that's mostly due to the fact that we've got a bit of a backlog. Or rail construction stuff that's happening here is causing things to slow down because of my poor brain not working the way it should have, forcing them to come around down here to turn around and come back. Yeah, let's take the long way around. But honestly, to get to these 2 tracks, they'd have to do that anyways, even if I'd built this way, because there's no second way in. So, yeah. They're working on this, apparently. Exactly. We got buses coming. Why don't we have, I guess, because all of the oh, there's a dumper coming to that one. All of their vehicles are working on the bridge. Craziness. craziness. So I'm going to get rid of this. It was not necessary, and we just live with our mistakes and move on from there. Fortunately, it wasn't a very expensive one. That can go, that can go. And we'll get rid of our... Oh, did I have bus? Oh, no, he's fine. This is one of my circular routes that's just taking, students and everybody else around. So, okay, that's fine. I'm okay. So, for citizens, don't need a particularly large one. This one I'll do 600, will it? That's interesting. Oh, this is that stupid underground thing. The heating pipe. And it got in the way of so many things. And then it's going to get in the way of the rail, too, I bet. If I try to even come across. No, it's not going to. Interesting. Well, that's good. That's kind of the direction I need to come through here. And then I'm going to want to be somewhat on this angle. I can already tell that's going to be a gross connection. It might be better to just try to run it somewhat freehand down here. Just planning, so we're going to end up running straight through here. So obviously that's not going to be where you want it. You know, I'm going to want this to be somewhat on this kind of an angle coming out. And then how's this going to look? Actually, that's the wrong one. And a little bit wavy. Straighter, but it's definitely smoother. There we go. Okay. It's ish. Certainly not going to commit to that at this point. I was just trying to get a bit of an idea for how that's going to come in there. Not the worst, I don't think. Say that a fair bit. Probably shouldn't, because I should probably go for something a little better than not the worst, but at any rate. I think I can definitely get two in there, and then I can work this out a little bit better. This road's never used for anything, so having a level crossing there is really not an issue. And then once I get that worked out, tied in here, then I can basically get rid of, well, maybe not necessarily get rid of this, but what's going to happen is this will turn into the low volume stuff. I can run this down and connect up right in here rather than having it connect up there. So it can, we have a decent block there. And or Or maybe I just nuke the whole thing and just do a two-way junction here so these guys can get in and out. Yet to be determined. Okay. So many squirrels in this game. Okay. Did they pick that one up? Good. Good. We finished with this yet? No. Because they got so far to go out and around. And this is looking like we're getting close to the end of the episode, so looking like we're about an hour in, so I'm gonna call that here, and we'll get on with another episode here shortly. Hopefully I can get a few out this weekend. Be nice to get a couple of them out and about, because getting this construction stuff all dealt with is fun stuff for me. Getting this rail reworked so that's more functional. Everything going nicely, and I think next episode I'll plan out the pedestrian path that we're going to be using to get workers over here. So thanks for hanging out with me, and we'll catch you in the next one.